Good time zone. Good time zone and a happy birthday to all of those around the world. We're back with First of 1,000 Autumns. I'm sure everyone else has already finished it, but here we are. Here we are. Over the weekend, there was actually Ambiance Anesthesia, but I did not watch it. I'll have to do that at some point. Kind of snuck up. I don't even think they did like... Because usually they do like the promotional artwork. I don't even know if they even did any for this one. But I'll have to watch that. Speaking of music, I feel like there's been a breath of really good Arknights music lately. Gotta be said. Nothing so bad, but nothing so good either. And we're talking about like since probably the Masses Travels is the last one I remember having a really good song that I really liked. Which was last year. There might have been one in between then, but I don't actually remember it. But yeah, there's kind of been a breath of like really good songs. In fact, one I have a complaint for. The second song that I have like a complaint about was actually Titi's, Mejeti Keti's song. I don't feel like it fit her. Some people joked that it was actually a song about Mio, which I could agree with. The song was very what was it called again? Because that would help me remember what my thought on it was. Oh yeah, it's called You Wanna Know Me Too Bad. Yeah, the song is like very sassy and very much like, yeah, you wanna know me too bad, as it says, but like, just doesn't really fit Titi because she's actually like really earnest. She just runs a museum. Very out of character song, I feel like. The only other time that's happened was with Wishadel's one. Yeah, so there's been a breadth of songs there, and you know, there's also been I've not liked really any of the infield ones. I think the problem with the infield ones is that they're a little too short. Like they end before they can even really get going. However, that being said, there was one that it's not actually Arcane's theme, but it was a song with Arcane that they released on the live stream. That one's even shorter than normal, but actually is really good, and I wish it was a full song. I don't know if it's her theme or what her theme is like. I haven't listened to that yet, but other than that, I've not been impressed with like really any of those ones. Not a great year for Arknights music, I guess. And Arcane still eludes me. I got 2 other 6 stars, but not her. And they weren't even the other rate ups. They were just base game 6 stars. So I've entered the phase of, do I keep trying or do I cut my losses? And that's what I've got to figure out now. I really like Arcane's design. But I don't know if it's worth it now. Gonna say for C. Yeah, we got C. We got Lena. We've got the other ones that they've announced later on at some point. Thing with Arcane as well is that a lot of the stuff I'm seeing is like, yeah, you want you want her on like a cryo team. It's like, well, I've not made a cryo team. I kept putting it off. I could though. Let's see. All right. Kabam.
A little chat before you get to work.
No point of order here. So let's get into it. Last time, on the first of 1,000 autumns, Wang is inside the Bishosui's consciousness, fighting against it, traveling throughout its memories, and slowly losing parts of his life force, I guess, that he's put into different weight chip pieces. They're slowly being destroyed, partly because he has to kind of destroy himself sometimes. The Sway's consciousness which was voided from the 12 proxies creations, has utilized Wong's own form to fill that void, so he's now kind of fighting himself. The white pieces to his black pieces. But we've learned a lot from inside the Sway's consciousness and its memories. For one, Wong actually spared the Farenmut Chu during the Great Hunt at the behest of the Farenmut Ho. He helped them escape Yen, actually, with the idea that one day he would need their help in return. And, well, today is the day. I also learned that that one of the plans back in the day for fighting the bestial Sway was that if it were to awaken, Ling would take all of the proxies into her dreams, and they could just live there in hiding forever. At least until she lost her power, because it would exhaust her eventually. It's not a very viable plan, but it was a plan. Meanwhile, in Paizao, Chen has arrived at the Sky Mirror Pavilion and immediately meets a distant relative. What was her name? Chen Chao something. Chen Chao Qian. Who, both of them thought they were the last Chens, so now there's two of them. And Chen Chao Qian works at the library in the Sky Mirror Pavilion, which is a library, as the Ministry of Water, which is just the person in charge of making sure the place doesn't burn down. Inside the pavilion, they encounter Sola and Mo Yi, who are fighting. They've just kind of wound up at the pavilion, and Chen interrupts the fight. Mo Yi takes Chen Chao Qian hostage, former Minister Liang shows up. Now he's just works also at the library. Mo Yi lets Qin Xiaoqin go because actually she's not about killing people, so. And they're now all working together to try and figure out what's going on. They believe that the ink knife of the lost proxy Qie is at the top floor of the library, and in recent months, the Minister of, or no, not the Minister, the Grand Commandant has sent people trying to search through the library, but eventually they were turned away because they're like, you don't have authority here. But presumably they were probably looking for that ink knife. Waiting for Qin to be playable. Can we literally have 4 Qins? I don't know if we can go that far, guys. I think that's everything that happened. He also talked about like Wei Yinwu and how he's gone missing, and how him being in the capital could be seen as a threat to the True Lung, and there might be some sort of political shenanigans going on there. And if worst comes to worst, then Qin herself would technically be like, if things go so poorly, Qin herself would technically be in line for the True Lung in the absolute worst case scenario. You have a feeling she does? That'd be crazy. I don't see that coming. Wei Yinwu's there because he was invited. He doesn't even want to mess with his brother. And his brother invited him, so I don't think I think, you know, the Grand Commandant might be trying something perhaps. But I think they'll all figure it out. I think also there's people in, like I said, Qin would be the worst case scenario, so there's still, even if both the brothers died, there would still be someone else before Qin. So a lot of people would have to die. At least that's what Qin Xiaoqin made it seem like. Twin Swallow Pincer. The player behind the curtain has picked up the stones and entered the game. Is it a friend fighting against Sui together, or a foe with ulterior motives? Oh, that reminds me. Oh, there was a scene with Ya who showed up at Flavors of You, whatever it's called. You tried to give them food, but Ya was not having it. This is as far as we can go, Your Imperial Majesty. You are the only one in all of Yin who may enter the room beyond this door. It is but a door. There is no need to be so fearful. It conceals Yin's greatest secret and its greatest asset, Your Imperial Majesty. Is that so? The 17-year-old Chu Lung walks down the last few steps. He looks back at the three Grand Ministers behind him, who are still bowing deeply. He frowns and pushes the door open. He has heard about what lies beyond this door. The legends and stories of this ancient nation have been passed down through the centuries. The earth's blessings have granted this stone to its people. The heaven's blessings shall bring an end to sway. Some say that the prosperity of Yen comes from it. Others say that Chu Lung's authority is merely borrowed from it. But no one has seen it with their own eyes in nearly a century. The ascending Chu Lung is filled with excitement, his fingertips trembling. Everything in the land of Yen shall obey him for the prosperity of Yen. So will one small crystal. He pushes the door open. Is it like one of the original orange name crystals? As ambitious as he is, he could not help but stop before the massive space and blinding light. It is not the first Orangenium itself, but man-made additions upon it, the limiters and guidance that generations after generations of Tiansha have placed upon it over the centuries. It really is. At the new capital of Paizhao, a tomb was built to hold the vessel of sway, and the consciousness of sway was suppressed by the power of calamity. Yet the emperor was not at ease, and so he sought counsel with the Tiansha bureaus in hopes of keeping the peace for eternity hence. Then the emperor discovered the means to harness the power of calamity, but it would not take the lives of but it would take the lives of 100 Tiansha and 10,000 soldiers to form the blade and slay the beast. Even if complete success was achieved, Paizhao would not be spared. And the emperor said, "It is shameful to bring harm to the people for one's own purpose. I shall give up myself, and my descendants shall do the same, and not demand the sacrifice of the people." The Chu Lung passed the next year, and by it the enchantment was complete. The crown prince grieved and named it Bu Fan. Bu Fan. No rebellion. Sounds like no return, too. My ancestor sacrificed himself and made the reigning Chu Lung the subject of future human sacrifice. Henceforth, the Chu Lungs that came after him gave their life to harness the power of this Orangenium. I would not have known it was so massive if I did not see it for myself. Yet it's no more than a tiny crystal compared to all of Yin and Yin's future. Yin could not have done much with it. Yin could have done much more with this object. How much energy have we spent on suppressing the sleeping beast? With such energy, how many armies could we have raised? How many machines could we have built? How could I tolerate such inaction? The Chu Lung lingers before the facility for a while. He has gotten used to the scorching light and even starts to feel boring. A smile comes to his face as he remembers the reverence on his three Grand Ministers' faces. How will he deride their timidity when he leaves the room without being rude? He recalls the rule that kept the ministers out, for him to face the structure alone, the rule that inextricably links it to his life. He could not help but laugh. The Chu Lung's authority over all under heaven tied to a tiny crystal like this. It's crazy we just casually got the location of the second original Oranginium, so now we just gotta find the third one. I am still inexperienced. I will be relying on the three of you for many things. Yen has been peaceful and prosperous for centuries. Why is it that there are still rebellions? Is there still land where the blessings of Yen do not touch? Or seditious subjects who will not submit to imperial rule? Silence. I will decide myself when, as you do not answer. The blessings of Yin shall touch every corner, so that not a single person shall worry for food or shelter. The teachings of Yin shall reach every heart, so that not a single rebellious thought will enter the mind of a single man. We shall vanquish the northern traitors and build the nomadic city of Baizhao, both for the foremost territory or priority, and neither shall be delayed. You shall summon the 6 ministries, discuss the specifics, and deliver a proposal by the end of the month. Dismissed. The trio on the other side of the curtain bow in assessment and leave. A little later. Ah, you've arrived. It is an honor, Your Imperial Majesty. I have long heard of the 12 extraordinary talents of Yin, credited with no small number of achievements for the Empire. I've been curious for some time. I therefore perused the Sui Regulator's archives and found something rather interesting. Be it reports of triumph or suspicious activities, no name has been mentioned more often than yours. But I see your visage is not as terrifying as the rumors claim. Why has Your Imperial Majesty summoned me? They call you the most cunning strategist in all of Yen. How do you propose to resolve the 2 great obstacles we face? The Northern Rebellion is hardly a major threat. The rebels may be influential in their local area, but they are powerless to expand. Nevertheless, it would be inadvisable to allow them to consolidate their position. 50,000 soldiers and 6 months' worth of rations will be sufficient to defeat them. Your estimate is much more optimistic than the Ministry of War, but I have more reason to trust your judgment on this. What about the other matter? As for the modification of Baizhao into a nomadic city, I understand the Ministry of Works has validated the engineering principles. The only issue for our funding, supplies, and the tomb of Sui beneath Baizhao. Yes, you understand the problem. It is for this that I have summoned you. How do you intend to eliminate Sui? If you are familiar with the scrolls of the Sui Regulator, you understand we are the same as and one as Sui, and our fates intermingled. Do you mean to ask how to kill us? It is only Sui that Yin is concerned about, and no other being. You understand, of course, the price that Yin paid for the hunt that occurred centuries ago. The price that must be paid if Yin is to force the issue is 7/10 of its armies, 1/10 of its population, and 50 years of unceasing unrest. If that is the case, Yin will be in no position to ensure the safety of the 12 of you. The proxy looks up and meets the gaze of the man behind the curtain. I am determined to cleanse Yin of this 1,000-year bane. I am not afraid to pay the price, any price. The Sui will be destroyed. The tremendous energy that was used to suppress that beast shall be reutilized to build 100 cities and 10,000 battleships, and usher in another 1,000 years of prosperity for Yen. I had hoped that there would be a place for the 12 of you in Yen's future prosperity on account of your past deeds. It is regrettable. If your decision to eliminate Sui comes from practical judgment, rather than reckless pursuit of glory, I may have a way. No. The 12 of us were one and the same as Sui. We were destined to fade whether it wakes or is destroyed. But it is possible that I could replace it. How sure are you? I will need time. The young man behind the curtain points at the courtyard outside. That ginkgo sapling was planted in the spring of this year. The Ministry of Work swore an oath in this hall several days ago that the rebuilding of Paizhao into a nomadic city will be complete before the tree bears fruit. 12 or 20 years, that is the time you have. That is too little time. I am not here to bargain. Immortality has made you arrogant. Perhaps you have forgotten that mortals do not have many 20 years. Yen cannot wait, and neither can I. You're the new candle holder. So much time has passed in the blink of an eye. As the previous candle holder, she retired last month and asked me to tell you not to worry. I will take over your communications with the Sui regulator from now on. Well, you'll have your hands full. Most candle holders have to worry about tracking down my free-roaming siblings. As for mine, they have to sit in this office all day handling books and scrolls. They're more like secretaries than candle holders. I enjoy reading and writing. This is right up my alley. Perfect. What's your name? I'm Chun. Chun. For the ancient tree that shares your name, 8,000 years is a spring and 8,000 years is an autumn. Was the one who named you remarkably ambitious or remarkably cautious? Wait, you are... An elf. An elf? Yes. Second elf character. So there's elves in Yen. Which I guess there could be elves anywhere based on the lore we got from Integrated Strategies recently. Technically a third. We can't say that for certain. What's going on with the presents? I was gonna say something, but yeah. We got an Integrated Strategies. Ending 3 gave us some crazy lore about the elves, which explains a lot, but still doesn't explain the presents. Judging from your appearance, you're an elf of Yan. The bestial Yan and its elves are well versed in the ways of yin and yang and the 5 elements. The element associated with spring is wood, and the characters for Chun combines both wood and spring, representing vitality and longevity. I see. An elf of Yan. Yeah, okay, so we might as well talk about this now, since they're talking about elves of Yan and whatnot. I wasn't sure when we were going to talk about this, but before we the elf storyline was we thought the elves were related to Sami. Then it was like, no, it's not related to Sami. The elves are related to Mule. Some other Farenmut. But now we know from the memory from Sway, the bestial Sway, because they were around. They've been around since even before the predecessors arrived on Terra. Now we know that the elves are actually human Farenmut hybrids. Some elves were made from Mule. Mulesees is the descendant of elves, an elf hybrid of the Farenmut Mule, and this person, Chun, is a descendant of the elves from Yan. So that's the thing, though. They're human Farenmut hybrids, but that still doesn't explain what the presence is and why the presence has elf DNA, because the presence is, according to them, an alien of some other sort. So unless there was further experiments with elves to create the presence, like it could just be another experiment related to them in some way that they made elves, and then the predecessors are like, well, let's make something else, or who knows, right? Could just be as simple as that, or there's a missing piece to the puzzle. Yan and themselves are well versed in the ways of yin and yang and the 5 elements. My mother told me about it when I was young. I didn't expect anyone else to know. Now, are Yan elves also weak to Oranginium? Or is that just a mule thing? Because clearly this person's living out in modern society perfectly fine. I mean, I guess they could be not fine, but they are still able to live here. Stuff like this is what history is about. It's your first day. I won't put you to too much hard work. Just familiarize yourself with the space. We can look at any books and documents in this study. The candle holders carefully scan the room. She could not conceal her eagerness as she sees scrolls and books that fill the wall shelves. I thought they were carrying a big staff, but they're not. one hand's on a sword. I was filling in the blank space in between their hands with it, but no, it's a sword, and then the other hand's holding whatever that's called, which has a big piece of wood attached to it as well. Forget what that stick's called.
Did you write all of these? No, I simply collected the materials. The historians of the Imperial Historical Cabinet are the ones who actually write the books. After all, is writing history a difficult task? It's a heavy responsibility. History books form people's perception of the past, but a few words are hardly enough to give them a complete view. Choices must be made as to which parts to record for posterity, what sorts of lessons those who come after should learn. It's easy to say write with an imperial pen, but it's a most profound and complex discipline. What if there is a mistake in the history books? Then it should be corrected. History is inevitably warped by the position of the narrator, no matter how impartial the writer attempts to be. I see a few more problems because I've lived longer than most and remember more than most. It's true that your kind, the Proxies, are different from other long-lived. Before I joined, I heard that each of you had your own powers. Do you use your powers to correct the errors in the history books? I heard you have a magical writing knife. Do you use it to correct those errors?
I can, but this is not how it should be used.
Huh?
Mistakes take root in people's hearts as they are passed down from one generation to another. The proper way to fight them is to form a new consensus through debate and clarification, not to simply erase it. Erasing a wrong word from one's own writing is not a significant issue, for it only concerns oneself. To do it to a published book would be to meddle with the memories of thousands. As for history, setting aside the question of how much I can alter, it will not be a good thing for myself and for Yen. Frankly, it's already a chore to ensure that history is not altered. I hardly have the energy to alter it myself. Seems like there's something you'd like to change with the knife of yours.
Before my mother passed away, she said I may be the last of the Yon Elves.
Of course you are. The last of the Mule Elves, the last of the Yon Elves. Elves don't have it easy. I guess since they were made as hybrids, there probably weren't that many that were made originally in the first place, so their populations didn't grow that much.
She wanted me to find a home. I wondered for many years. I tried many ways to blend in, but I always failed. Yen does not want to accept you because the Yon Elves were depicted in the Great Hunt as fickle and disloyal. But I know that's not true. The bestial Yon stood against Yen simply to survive. That cannot be denied. The Elves, though, had only wanted to mediate the conflict, yet they became the enemy of both sides. Ultimately, most were killed in battle and their deeds lost to time.
So you wanted to alter this history?
I don't deny that I thought about it, but I'm your candle holder now and my work comes before all else.
I can't lend you the writing knife, nor can I allow you to use it to alter history.
I understand. I shouldn't have.
But if we can find proof that the elves were in fact not disloyal...
I will do all that I can to help you correct their erroneous records in the proper manner. Things haven't been so busy lately. We could visit the area where you used to live. What do you think? I've only just come. Besides, the things I said aren't necessarily true. I can tell that your passion for words and history is genuine. Besides, who will believe you if the historian does not? Yes. This is the key to my office. You're my candle holder now. Take good care of it. How do you get in if you give me the key? Why should the master of the house need a key?
Year 965.
The court building has only just been completed. Why?
Don't worry, it will not be torn down. Our Tumu Tiansha will transplant the Judicial Review Office to a nomadic plate undamaged. But wouldn't it have been so much cheaper to build it directly on the nomadic plate? I hear the Imperial Court is putting everything behind this nomadic city. I'm sure our cooperation will be very important.
Get to the point. What do you want?
My rosewood chair, ebony table, kowo plates, and Danyan lamps. None of them were inexpensive. Here are the receipts from where I ordered my things, if there is any damage.
Fine. You'll be reimbursed accordingly.
Yes, the prisoners have been transferred. The previous instructions were from the Judicial Review Office, while the new ones are from the Ministry of Justice. I understand, but am I supposed to conjure the prisoners out of thin air? You don't care. The Burning Beast carriages are arriving in minutes?
Minister, please excuse the poor hospitality. I did not know you were visiting. I have never seen you in the Skymere Pavilion. I take it you have important business?
There isn't much time, Miss Chia. I'll get straight to the point. There is an error in this year's archives that I would like to ask you to correct.
A mistake in the documents I audited. Pray tell.
The documents submitted by the Ministry of Works stated that there were around 100 deaths associated with the Qidao project of Danyin this year. Why did the number become 3,000?
The figure of 3,000 deaths was not cited from a single document, but calculated based on documents from the Ministry of Works, the Ministry of Revenue, and the local government departments. The records are carefully sourced. I have kept a copy should you wish to review them. While it's not my place to question the work of the Ministry of Works, I have no idea why the 3,000 deaths of Danyin's and local records just became 100 when it reached Bai Cao. You must submit sufficient evidence, however, should you wish to question the documents audited by the Skymere Pavilion.
Well, Danyin is not so well staffed as Bai Cao, and there are only limited resources available for record keeping. Besides, the cold climate there causes disease and frostbite in winter. Perhaps not all of the 3,000 died in the course of constructing the Qidao.
I see. You wish for me to alter the documents to make the Ministry of Works look better for the cabinet.
This is not about the cabinet. This is about Yin. You know about all the projects being carried out across Yin. They push the nation's resources to the limit, but there is no doubt that these projects will benefit the nation and its people. I'm not the only one who feels that such depressing figures will weaken the people's morale.
I don't deny the benefits of these measures. Precisely because of that, the 3,000 people who died to build the Qidao gave their lives for their country. It would be an insult to their memory to reduce it to 100.
If only I knew what a Qidao was. The thing that comes up is a verb, so that doesn't make any sense.
Unless you can prove that there has been an error, any text that I reviewed must not be altered. Anyone else who has a complaint can bring it to me directly.
The nation must be united in the monumental task of building nomadic city. Everyone at the court is doing their best, and each faces their own challenges. Yet the writings of the Imperial Historical and Cabinet in the Skymere Pavilion have been most aggressive and deprecating. It is as though you wish for the work on the nomadic city to stop immediately.
Is it the writer who has something to hide, or the reader?
How dare you! The Imperial Court has compensated the next of kin in full. Not a single coin has been withheld.
I've noted this in the documents that I approved. The care that the court has shown them towards those injured and killed, as well as their families, illustrates Yen's love towards its people.
Then why do you cling to a single number like this?
I understand your concern for Yen, Minister, but I worry that people will only see the glory of the accomplishments and not the people whose sacrifices made it possible. All I can do is to ensure that the history I see is recorded exactly as it is.
And you think you alone can decide the history of Yen?
History has never been decided by one person. It is the combined soundless voices of millions. You are a learned man in the position to improve the lives of thousands upon thousands, Minister. I simply leave behind some words for those people whose voices will never be heard. Now, ask your conscience, and answer again for those people. How many died building Dunyan's Chidao this year? Was it 100 or 3,000?
The Ministry of Works just stormed off in a huff. Is it because of Dan Yun?
Is this why you've come, sister? I can't imagine how they managed to convince you to lobby on their behalf. Am I actually dreaming, while the other one in the Tomb of Sway is awakened?
Are you so sarcastic to everyone these days? I came to tell you that Sui Regulator and the Ministry of Justice have approved your request to clear the Yin Elves' name.
I'm sorry. I was in a bad mood.
Apologies accepted.
That's the first good news I've heard in days. It will make Chun less gloomy, I hope.
It is not good to be fighting with the Sway Regulator. But I doubt they would be happy to see you get too friendly with your candle holder.
I understand, but she really's taken into her work. Helping me compile the history, she clearly likes it. I have a feeling she didn't become a candle holder because she wanted to, but because she was alone and didn't have a choice but to take the hand that was offered. Well, a wrong has been righted. That's always a good thing.
Of course, I think part of their intention is to get you to compromise on changing documents. I simply came to discuss matters, because the matter has gotten to the 3 Grand Ministers and the True Lung. I am not lobbying on anybody's behalf.
Just treat it as the guy in the Tomb of Sway throwing a tantrum.
You're the only one in the family who jokes about this.
Ling has honeyed words, and you speak with Heaven's authority. I'll settle for the frivolous tongue, then.
It's true that the officials of the court are facing a dilemma in this matter. The figure of 3,000 will cast a shadow upon the nomadic city project, and the implications it may have for Yin are unknown.
Did you tolerate the falsification of records while you are still administering justice?
Falsifying records is a crime, of course. However, if the perpetrators did not do it out of selfish interest, I will consider extenuating circumstances when determining the punishment.
I'm surprised to hear that.
We each have our own specializations. I don't work in history, and you don't work in law.
Perhaps that is how matters of law work, but not in history. I wanted to study history and language because I wanted to learn what the human mind is truly like. The answer to my questions may lie in the intention behind words, but the truth behind history, not for Yen nor for the land, not even for our family, only for my own questions. Chun, what are you doing here? I wasn't ready to tell you. Tell me what? Never mind. What's the hurry? I went to the study to get the drafts as you asked, but I discovered signs of intrusion. The writing knife on the desk is gone.
And thus, 2,900 people cease to exist, huh?
With my blade, I decree.
You've been staring at the writing knife for quite some time. This writing knife, a tool for erasing words, not at all difficult to use. Use it on a glyph to extract and save the glyph within. You can only save one glyph at a time. Writing knife cannot be used when you already have a glyph. This way you can adjust the glyph's position. Use it as needed, within reason. That's cool. Just gotta remember all the glyphs. Okay, so the top gray one is mountain, right? I don't remember what that does, though. House with the tail, I don't remember what that does either. Okay, mountain makes a tile, right? And that thing summons, I think that's SP, maybe? Guy gives SP, perhaps?
Come, take your seats.
Perhaps. Yeah, one's SP, one's DP. Yeah.
Get what you deserve. I mean, what you ordered.
Which one's which? Excellent question.
You have been drawn into my plans. Why must you insist on struggling? Warmongering as ever. Even now, you have learned nothing.
Food. Yeah, okay, food. Wish I told you more than that, though.
You will not escape this, dear, so easily.
Quickly, this slow
Rude.
smell low heat. Patience is not optional.
Can I do this and put them over here? Will they just walk into the hole? What the? What the? What happened to you?
Slow simmer on low heat. Patience is not optional.
I like that Sway just left.
Tough to swallow, huh? Try to behave yourself next time.
I have a bit of a DP problem.
Patience, friend. Heat control is everything here.
Not even a stirring of grass will go overlooked.
Whoops. Ran out of DP. Got a bit of a DP problem.
Terrible. If I really let myself loose, things would get a whole lot nastier for everyone involved.
Should probably get a Vanguard, but we're gonna try it and play a little smarter. Although I don't remember which ones give DP and which ones give SP.
With my blade, I decree.
I'm gonna restart just so I can look.
The SUI regulator has contingencies for all possible outcomes. Leave the cleanup to me. Don't worry, my Qinggong is good. I'll catch up.
Okay, money is DP. Yeah, money is DP. Food is SP.
The mung bean soup is already simmering. Whether you want your beans intact or fully dissolved depends on how quickly you return.
So we want the money so we can get some DP stuff going on there. And then we want to save 20 so we can get all those warriors onto that left side and they can just fall into the thing and never have to worry about them.
You have been drawn into my plan. Why must you insist on struggling? Why must you insist on struggling?
Writes the friend glyph. I see.
Patience, slow simmer on low heat. Patience is not optional. You'll get what you deserve. I mean, what you ordered. Quickly, turn oil into a hot one. The heat is just perfect.
Admit defeat now, and spare yourself the embarrassment. You will not escape this, Jie, so easily.
Quickly, tough to swallow, huh? Try to behave yourself next time.
Admit defeat now, and spare yourself the embarrassment. You will not escape this, Jie, so easily.
Mission accomplished.
Thank you, Wong. Yes, 965. I see. Do not tell anyone else. Be extremely careful. I need you to do something for me. I hope Chun wasn't in on it. The Judicial Review Office has begun to investigate everyone who was near the Sky Mirror Pavilion around the time that the writing knife was stolen. And by Chun, I mean this Chun with the J and not Chun with the CH. Just to clarify. Outside of our siblings, you could count the number of people who know about the existence of the knife with one hand. Yes, it's just as I feared. I won't stand aside and do nothing if someone tries to harm you, Jie. I doubt someone is trying to harm me would use such means. It feels more like a warning. His Imperial Majesty is an energetic ruler. He wanted every person in the land to bow to him. He would recognize our family as not being of his kind. But I do not believe he would stoop to so low as to use the knife in underhanded ways. It is not fair. If there is anyone who should be above suspicion, it would be you. You know how hard the words fair and just are to write. It's our oldest brother says, there is little point in arguing when it's 1,000 mouths against one. I doubt he would just let this slide, if he was here. I wouldn't like to see him when he's angry. What is your plan? You won't tell Wong about it? It's times like these that he is most useful. Jie shakes her head. That was what I was about to ask you. Please keep this a secret from Wong. People have feared and avoided him for many years. His position has grown even more precarious under the new emperor. This is not the time to drag him into this.
Besides, I fear he will do something irrational if he finds out.
Alright, I'll listen to you. But I hope can be honest with me, Chia. Are you absolutely sure that you and Wong are not plotting something?
Come on, don't interrogate me like this, sister. I guess no one can lie to you successfully.
I knew it. You understand that it's a dangerous power you wield.
I know the risks, but I'm not the only one who has to shoulder them. Sure, Wang, Ling, and you've done so much for us, the younger ones. I have to do my part. Besides, I don't want these names that I put so much thought into to fade away in history.
Chen continues to frown. Jie takes her sister's hand in hers. They are rough from all the years of playing instruments, but it is a comfortable feeling.
I'm here. It's alright. I'm alright. Don't worry. You know, I had a dream about our future. It's a different future from the fields of white that Chu spoke of. I saw all of you truly live as yourselves. The vision was so real, it didn't seem like a dream. I even have a feeling that it's more than just a dream.
It's good to see you, Miss Nian.
Hey, Roundhead. You're the one supervising the work. What about the foreman? Where's he slacking off? You misunderstand. My master has been very busy with city design ever since he received news of Bai Zhao's modification. He has gone an entire month without sleep at his busiest. That slowpoke picks himself up once in a while, eh? He calls Yen's first ever nomadic city a project of monumental significance. Every detail of the city must be carefully considered. Therefore, he must complete it before you have a chance to do something to his design. What the? How dare he talk behind my back like this, when I always share the good stuff with him. Where is he? I'll bite his head off for this. Sleeping? He has slept for 10 days now, but he is supposed to deliver the draft of the gates to the Ministry of Works tomorrow. He told me that I am to stop the Ministry's people from getting in, no matter what. Heh. Now that's the Yi I know. Is there something else? You said Yi's sleeping. I remember that he picked up a meteorite a few decades ago. It's still in his garden, isn't it? Where? Miss Nian, I have my master's instructions. I am not to allow anyone into the Garden of Grotesquaries. Whether it is you or anyone from the Ministry of Works. Why are you so loyal to him? Say, wasn't it I who gave him the materials to build your body? Shouldn't you obey my orders? Now shut up and get out of the way. Please, Miss Nian, you make my position most difficult. Mr. Long, Miss Nien, the assistant minister requests your urgent presence at the Forbidden City. Urgent? How much? The Pied Zao project has encountered a snag. A shipment of materials, ore iron and orangenium and the like, which Pied Zao urgently needs, has been delayed. It's brought construction to a grinding halt. What the? What are the geezers at the Ministry of Works doing? What's going on? I demand an explanation. The construction of Pied Zao is the most important thing in the land. How could this be allowed to happen? The Cheetao around the capital is well maintained. How could it collapse when no catastrophe has occurred? And how could there be bandits so close to the capital?
If only I knew what a Cheetao was. I still don't know what it is. I have to say that these incidences are highly suspicious, sir. The sun collapsed and the supplies that disappeared without reason then showed up just as suddenly where they should not. If there is indeed someone behind all of this, then their objective must be to sow confusion. Rumors have been spreading in the city. Many workers believe that Pied Zao picked a time of ill fortune to begin construction.
Or someone is sowing confusion. Who?
Sir, the Ministry of Rights is requesting a meeting.
What is Rights doing here at a time like this? They come to laugh at us.
Reporting, sir, the Ministry of Rights said that although the Ministry of Works has been quite busy as of late, this trouble involves more than just the Ministry of Works.
There you are, Chun. Do you know why I have summoned you?
I suppose it's because of the writing knife.
Yes. How did you propose to solve this dilemma?
Perhaps if you could put in a few good words for her, then return it to its owner.
Huh. Go on.
If the numbers are the problem, it's as simple as matter as going over her head to alter them. This should not be necessary.
How interesting. Her previous candleholder retired after being accused of growing too close to her proxy. She has a knack for winning people over, doesn't she?
I mean, all the proxies have their own eccentricities, but they never have plotted against Yen.
Indeed. We can tolerate the eccentricities of others as long as they do not seek to harm Yen. But she... You must understand what you are dealing with, and that her powers mean to Yen. The supervisor tosses the unsubmitted document towards Chun and hands her a brush dipped in ink. Try. Try if you think you can go over the head of a proxy. Change numbers to what you want them to be. I guess she was kind of involved, actually. Your Imperial Majesty, the Ministry of Rights and Works has completed the investigation into the lost supplies of the Pied Zao project. Investigators unanimously agree that it was most likely an unintentional act and that there was someone behind it. Supplies have arrived at Pied Zao. The Ministry of Works will do its best to make up for lost progress. What are you hiding? You suspect that there is someone behind it. You must have a suspect. The nervous official dares not look straight at the figure behind the curtain. Out of the corner of the eye, he glimpses his majestic lord behind before his desk writing something. A well-timed declaration of war, too, in fact.
One telling me that she is the sole mouth of Yen, while the other demonstrating that he can easily disrupt Yen's greatest project. The continuation of the project depends on his approval. Will there come a day when they could make Yen's armies turn on themselves if they wanted? This is a serious matter, Your Majesty. If the proxies are indeed stirring trouble, the Sui regulator should act immediately and punish them severely. There is no need to be hasty. The figure behind the curtain thinks for a moment, then puts down his writing brush. I know the craft of calligraphy must be honed over a long period, but I have not seen the efforts bear fruit. Still, I understand now why the Grand Preceptor wanted me to spend so much time on it. One must be in control of oneself. The young True Lung gazes upon the ink on the paper, but he seems dissatisfied and frowns. Xin Ye Ming, Wei Ren Qing Wang. The moon's wane gleam drew every eye. He picks up the writing knife and uses it to scrape away the conspicuous character of Wang. In an instant, that patch of paper is white as new again. He is clever, unlike his pedantic sister. He knew to let the supplies arrive at Paitsao, eventually make a show of good faith. He wished to protest on behalf of his sister. I'll humor his brotherly love. They can record the figures as they like. As for this writing knife, I had considered doing something with it, but never mind. Return it.
Che, the Sui regulator has recovered your item.
Thank you.
I'm so sorry, Che.
Why apologize? You found the thing that I lost. That which has lost has been restored, all is well.
I was negligent in my duty. There's something I've always wanted to ask you, Che. You said you didn't want to use the writing knife to alter history, not even to change clerical errors. Why have you kept the knife around?
Did you forget you already asked this question when you were 3 months on the job? You complained that I didn't allow you to use the writing knife to correct errors.
Is that so? I don't really remember.
Have you forgotten about your original aspiration, now that the erroneous description of Yan Els has been addressed?
No,
It's true that one should not pursue what lies in the past, but just as you and I have demonstrated, it does not mean that we should ignore the errors of the past, never mind trying to whitewash them. I have kept the knife so that people will remember that wrongs can't always be righted.
I understand. Nothing could be changed. Tearing the pages out, writing over the words, they all do nothing because the page is instantly restored to its original state. How could this be? How could this be?
This is her power. She was not so difficult 100 years ago when it was proposed that she should leave the Imperial Historical Cabinet and refrain from writing the histories directly. She did not complain and did indeed transferred to the Skymere Pavilion of her own accord to work on reviews. She also reduced the number of courses she taught at the Academy, mostly working in an advisory capacity similar to how Chun operates. But her photographic memory, enthusiasm for history, and her immortality were too much of a temptation to historians. It became their habit to seek the approval of the one who is never wrong, and she is happy to take on the work, reviewing documents and histories. Today, nothing that passes through her hands can be altered without her approval. As for that writing knife that occupies so much of your mind, it was once an ordinary tool. When Chie first picked it up, after spending centuries by Chie's side, it became capable of altering text without having to carve out bamboo. 2 centuries later, the writing knife accidentally erased a page from the veritable records of a true lung. Few, if any, have ever perused those pages, and all who knew the subject were gone, and so when a careless historian's hand slipped, no one could recall what the page held anymore. One reason was that no copies were made of the veritable records, but it is also true that Chie's powers are growing. If the Sway Regulator or Chie herself choose to erase a word, a sentence, or perhaps a memory from under heaven with it, it is well within the realm of possibility. The knife represents only a fragment of Chie's powers. How fast are her own powers in it growing? The deeper of Yen's history grows, the harder it will become to rein her in, for she is one with history. In another century or 10, as she continues to immerse herself in history, she'll become more powerful, more terrible, even than the bestial Sway itself. The long-lived candleholder stands dumbfounded, hardly able to comprehend what she has just heard.
If that's all, I will return to the Skymere Pavilion. Very well, be careful.
Wang,
Are you alright? I'm fine.
Wang, did you... Silence. They have grown used to this tacit understanding between them. In the long centuries that they have spent together, Chie clearly sees the emotions in his eyes. Flames of fury well hidden, but burning nonetheless.
It happened a century ago. I still remember the conflict that occurred because of the writing knife. What is it that you want me to see this time?
I thought you'd charge recklessly into the dream and tear it apart. You call yourself a schemer. Did you not see how the seeds of your end were already sown? The hearts of men are fickle.
I don't need you to tell me. So did you not interfere with my powers against the true lung?
Does it matter that you know? You dug your own grave. I need not do it I did not need to do anything. Besides, you have not seen the full picture of how the event led to her ultimate demise. The end is near. Are you ready?
My furnace flame will burn as long as I'm still standing.
That's good. Nice to get more context. So, Yen was very worried about her powers specifically, which definitely feeds more into Wang growing his distrust for humans in that regard as well. Because up until now, we learned about like what happened in the tomb, but clearly it wasn't just a isolated accident, right? There was some longer held contention, I guess.
enveloped edge. To go up, first go down. To go left, first go right. Everyone has their own plans, and everyone is held captive within. Two days before the full moon hour of high. The man walks past rows of fallen bookshelves, trying to return the scattered books to where they should be. The earth's blessings have granted this stone to its people. The heaven's blessings shall bring forth an end to sway. But in the 1,000-year river of history, is it fate ordained by heaven and earth, or nothing more than coincidence? Lord Suo and Miss Chin. It was they who brought the token to the Skymere Pavilion today. Was it a coincidence or... Miss Mayhem, what happened? Someone joins him, stepping lightly, and bends down to pick up a book from the ground. She's here too? Guess we can't not have their budding, not so budding romance. Mr. Long. Miss Ning, why are you still here? Did you forget that I'm an official of the Ministry of Rights? Neither of us should leave until all the civilians have been evacuated. You're quite right. Is the evacuation of the civilians complete? Essentially. Light Sao will soon separate. 'Tis unsettling, is it not? Perhaps you wanted to ask how I knew you were here when you did not tell me about your devotion. It has rained through the night yesterday. I only fear that you may be cold. The man clears a spot for the two of them to sit down. It has been a long time since I last visited the Skymere Pavilion. I suppose you've used to frequent here. As did all the students of the academy. I had a headache whenever I looked up at the books stacked all the way up to the top of the ceiling. But now I find here a place of rare peace away from the troubles beyond. I heard about Mr. Ning. You have my deepest sympathies. My grandfather did what he felt was right. He would not have kept the secrets for so long out of selfish interests. He did it to protect the younger generations too. I cannot reproach him, whether with reason or sentiment. Of course, he must also pay the price for his deeds. I see you have laid it down. I'm glad to see it. Perhaps you misunderstand. I did not mean that I could lay it down easily. I cannot deny that my career benefited greatly from my grandfather's influence. Those on the outside would undoubtedly say that the House of Ning has fallen on hard times. I would not say this to anyone but you, Mr. Liang.
You should not say that. I do not feel that any of your honors are undeserved. I trust you.
What if you're the only one? My grandfather said that once one has passed the walls of the palace, one must not trust in others so easily, and certainly not expect to be trusted easily. I listened, but it seems that I forgot about it when I met you in Zhongshu. I simply believe that I found a kindred spirit.
You flatter me.
You've always been like this. I admire your honesty and your sense of responsibility, but I hate how you make decisions by yourself and keep others at a distance. But then I realized you would not be Lang Shun if everything you did was to my liking. I could no more reproach you than I could reproach my grandfather.
I once thought that all I needed to do was be fair, honest, diligent, and persevering. But the years have taught me how powerless I am. Your grandfather was right, but even more frightening is the thought that I could not even trust myself to keep my aspirations and ideals. I would not claim that everything I did was honest and upright, but you should not have been involved in the ones that were not.
It is my turn to comfort you with the words clear conscience. You and I have done all we could, following the paths of justice that we believed in. Perhaps we are ultimately powerless to change anything. Perhaps this entire city will be no more than when the sun rises tomorrow.
Then, here and now, at least, my conscience is clear.
The night is deep. The ancient library has kept some old rules. All is quiet except the passage of time. They hold each other's hands tightly in their own. The desolate pond lies wrinkled by the end. Beneath the crumbling eaves, no voices remain. One can still recall those days of green sashes and red plumes in their splendor. One hour, or one day before the day of full moon. Hour of... So, I don't know what the TZ is. What is TZ? That's not a digraph by itself. So that's a cluster? I don't know how that's supposed to be pronounced. Zitsa and T is ta, so it's just tutsa, tutsu, tutsa, I don't know. Could also just be silent, so we'll just say tsu.
The script guys seem to be appearing less frequently. Could it be that you were right, and these guys are the breathing of the bestial sway? I told you so. You just wouldn't believe me. Whatever the reason, this is our opportunity to head for the top.
So this is the Skymere Pavilion's restricted area.
What are you planning?
These guys turn back into words when they're defeated. Say, if they were transformed from the sacred tombs of the Skymere Pavilion, would defeating them reveal the secrets of Yen that are usually kept hidden? You dare. No sudden moves. Let me see what secrets the words form. Song, tu, sui, shou. What's this? Makes no sense. The top 3 floors of the Skymere Pavilion are off limits. We can only enter because we have important missions. Refrain from doing anything unnecessary. Huh. You still won't admit that you're already in on this. Your deceptive words mean nothing. I know what I'm doing. There's a lot that you don't know. This building began as a public library, one of the first buildings to be completed after Pai Cao became a nomadic city. But there was no such thing as a restricted area at the time. Then, 120 years ago, the death of the proxy affected tons of history books, causing their texts to become unreadable. The Sui regulator wanted to dig deep, but the number of books were enormous. So the Skymere Pavilion set aside space up top for the Sui regulator's research. Decades passed. When the discussion of the turmoil had almost settled, the place became a warehouse for dusty old books. Some restricted zone. Why would it be sealed off from public view if it held any actual knowledge? You do know a lot. Just a little bit more than you. The things you speak of should not be the secrets to the Sui regulator, but I have not heard of them. My studies have been inadequate. This is what I hate about you. Always stiff, always by the book. Was it that white-haired Pero we met in Mongshan Town a friend of yours? You mean Wen Qingping? Yeah, that's the name, I think. He couldn't fight his way out of the wet paper bag, and it looked like a stiff wind could blow him over, but he was a quick thinker. Talking to him was kind of interesting. Why don't you learn a thing or two from him? I know, Chuan, I win smart. I don't need you to lecture me. Haha, now you start to drop the official tone and sound like a human being. Why did you join the Shanghai Chong, Mo Yi? What answer do you want to hear? You want me to tell you that I had a difficult childhood, drifted into the Shanghai Chong, and I'm looking for a chance to repent and mend my ways? Doesn't that sound a little cliche? I wasn't. Say whatever you want. Of course. The Shanghai Chong, who murdered and pillage, are villains. They deserve to die. But I hate hypocrites even more. Those people who look like they'll die if they stop flouting their high and mighty morals for a single moment. They think they're better than everyone else the moment they come out of their mama's tummy. Frauds. What I really want to know is, why are you so sure that this thing from the Garden of Grotesqueries will stop a war between Yin and Sui? You've been with the Sui regulator for a while. Have you ever wondered about their most closely guarded secrets? Why did that proxy die? Looks like it's not that you're not curious, it's that curiosity has yielded no answers. That's the problem, isn't it? Why would this have become a secret if the Sui regulator was really just so just and upright? What's the matter? No, it's nothing. Did you not hear any of that? You're so weird. You've been staring into blank space for a while now. Did those guys give you a concussion? Don't suppose there's anything I can do about that. Thanks, I'm not quite... I just feel like I've been here before. You said you dreamt about this place before. Were you dreaming just now? Perhaps. I thought I heard two people arguing, something about justice, but now I'm not sure. You must be hearing things. It's mostly ancient history books here. Maybe there's a clue as to what's going on here, but justice, that's one thing you won't find. They seem to be saying that justice doesn't exist, tangibly. That's true enough. Never mind that, let's get searching. Maybe you'll find your father's books here. His books here? Talk about forgetting one's roots. But I suppose it's not your fault. You didn't grow up in Bai Cao, so these things don't really have anything to do with you. I thought you'd be angrier with me. I am angry, but I realize I shouldn't take it out on you. I just... never mind. Miscellaneous morsels from Pai Cao, Sui Young. Yes, this one dates back several generations. The people rejoiced as the new emperor took the throne. They put up white banners like clouds and held rites in remembrance of the previous emperor's virtue, but their hearts were hopeful, confident that an era of greatness was upon us and the nation's peace secure. This was from a century ago when the last Chulung took the throne. That's a long time ago. Does it have anything to do with what we're investigating? The last Chulung's accomplishments were innumerable. The transformation of Pai Cao into a nomadic city, as well as the Skymere Pavilion, were completed upon under his decree. Not that either of us were around back then, although I suppose he would be your grandfather. Look at this forward. Talk about sucking up to the powerful. The county records from around Bai Cao and the demographic records of Bai Cao itself all paint a picture that is far less rosy. In the end, only one person's accomplishments remain. Same old story no matter where you are, I guess. That is kind of strange to hear from a close blood relative of that emperor. When the city of Pai Cao was completed, the emperor ordered the tomes of all the archives to be gathered in a single place. The scholars worked by candlelight, collecting fragments and tales, validating the facts and compiling them, so that the scattered records are whole again. That's strange. The Imperial Historical Cabinet's efforts to collect the scattered histories have happened after the death of the proxy, more than a decade before Paitsao was built. But the ambiguous way that it's written, the older generations are always stringent about scholarship. Why would they make such a mistake? Could it be that even what little they left behind was altered and rewritten? Chen Hui-Chie is not listening to her companion's muttering. She is on guard for any unusual movement around them. She wanted to tell Qin Chao-Qin to get moving, but she had a hard time saying it, seeing the sad look in Qin Chao-Qin's face. I never asked you, what happened to your family? The ones who were in Paitsao. The Chens are a family of historians. They were well regarded, but not illustrious. They generally stayed out of conflicts and politics. Other than the occasional offense they inevitably caused in the course of their work as historians. All I remember is how my father said it was as though the sky had fallen when the family learned that the marriage arrangement with the princess. That cousin was the only unmarried man in the family. He and everyone else knew how dangerous it was, but they were in no position to refuse. The rest was history. Princess Yin Qing died in Lungmen, and my cousin passed away soon after.
I guess Chin's family is a bit complicated, but I guess I hadn't realized quite what was happening with their relationship. But I guess Chin, the family name, would be from Qin Chao Qin's side, because that would have been Chen Hui Chie's father. Because Princess Yin Qing is the sister of Wei Yin Wu, I'm pretty sure, right? And therefore also the sister of the True Long. So yeah, so that's Chen Chao Qin is the name comes from her side of the family. And then you have Tallulah, whom is Chin's half sister, right? But not. I guess it would be from the mother, so a different father. So not Chen family. But Wei Yin Wu's family. But she didn't take, because I guess she didn't obviously wouldn't have taken their name either. Do we know Tallulah's last name? I don't remember.
The rest was history. Princess Yin Qing died in Lungmen, and my cousin passed away soon after. His Imperial Majesty did not punish our family. The rumors of strife took on a life of their own. You can imagine what happened to us when everyone decided our house had mistreated the princess. But that's not what Mother wanted. I doubt it was Wei and Wu's intention either. I was very young then. All I saw was the elders were always sighing when they came back from that morning assembly. Many felt ill out of sheer worry. Brothers and sisters stopped communicating with one another. Everything was shrouded in gloom. But I didn't know why. Father moved from place to place, selling off the family's belongings until we finally left by Tsao together. Yeah, he never once told me the reason. As for what happened after, you know, there was a time after becoming Magistrate of Water here in the Sky Mirror Pavilion when I thought I couldn't let the family tradition of history die with me. I didn't complain about the job. Most of the position responsibilities have been replaced by machines anyway. My colleagues, while not the friendliest lot, had little interest in political backstabbing. I had time on my hands, so I thought I would start with my family's history. Was it because of Magistrate Water's rank was too low? I felt like I had stumbled into a thick fog, getting more lost with every step I took. I knew my family didn't do anything wrong, but all the records I could find announced us as for our arrogance, our abuses. I tracked down the ones who are still alive, tried to ask them what they knew, but they couldn't get away fast enough when I learned I'm of the Qin family in the Chao generation. Oh, is that what the Chao part means? I am curious about their two names, because they're both their names have hyphens in it, and no one else does that. The few who were willing to see me said a bunch of apologetic words and officialese, but refused to tell me anything about the truth of what happened. I spent 10 years on this until I even started believing in myself. The House of Qin deserved to what it got for mistreating the princess. But I know it wasn't true. What am I? What is the House of Qin? What were your dead parents? What is history? All I know is that history should be recorded of the truth. That's what justice means to me. Bullshit. As for the family history you wanted to know, to tell the truth, my parents died when I was very young. I don't remember much about them. And Wei Yinwu was Wei Yinwu. It was hard for me to explain to people who my parents were. Sometimes I pass off the image of Wei Yinwu as my father's, just to make things simpler. I don't even remember my mother smiling. And I don't remember many positive things about my father. I just can't imagine how it feels to have your life determined entirely by other people. By those bastards. Or by those baseless things like responsibility and honor. It's not fair to you. And it's not fair to them. Is life fair and just to anyone? Someone once said to me that the justice we seek is not in the past, but that doesn't mean we should forget about it. Very interesting place to cut. Okay.
With my blade, I decree.
Not even a stirring of grass will go overlooked.
Got the situation down crystal clear.
All balance held by the orders of Yan. All beasts hunted by the sons of man.
My blood is boiling. Now run faster before my fire swallows you whole.
What the heck? Thief in the clouds. Aerial unit attempts to brazenly steal the first glyph encountered. I don't have a sniper. Well, this isn't good. I'm gonna need to bring a sniper. Dusk, you're out. Sorry, Dusk. Do I have a Yeni sniper? I don't think so. Is there even a Yeni sniper? I guess Chia Yun. I guess Chia Yun would be that. And only that. But yeah, there you go. What if we bring good old Gordon Tannen?
You guys on the transport crew for my little fellas? Then I'll bring a few extra crates.
Move out. I'll make sure no one gets left behind.
Stand a little further in, Doc. see your hood.
Oh, you only attack aerial units. Forgot about that part. Restart.
If you're unsatisfied with the results, I'm ready to move out anytime.
I really should just bring a vanguard.
The arrow has been knocked. Do not hesitate.
I'll stop all evil in its tracks.
Air's burning my lungs. Temps just right. You know, right up and taste my fireball's power!
What? Gotta rip the head up? How do I test fire if you're lying down? It's called responsibility.
Remember, patience makes perfect.
Not even a stirring of grass will go overlooked. From here on, go no further. This road is closed. From here on, such violence will not be tolerated.
What? Got a report for me? No more hollering! What if I spell my data wrong? Oh,
It's my boiling blood turning the horizon red!
I guess when they steal it, you don't get it back. Which is a shame.
Conservation. Prepare to move the mold, restoring the flexibility of the fabric.
I know very
Does she
well
attack
how
aerial
sword
people?
is
She does.
strategy. Once stood, stand fast.
Triple flames! Scorch the heavens! The furnace... how did the...
Tiny may a candle be. It shall drive out the darkest night. The situation, all balance held by the orders of Yan. All beasts hunted by the sons of man. From here on, tiny may a candle be. It shall drive out the darkest night.
One day before the full moon, hour of Su. With 2 S's. For some reason. Well, I didn't expect Sola as a grand. That also. I should have, but. There's a lot of characters in the Yin storyline. A lot of characters. I think more than any of the other storylines.
The aging general stands silently in the tent, like a brick on an ancient wall. Behind him is the military map that he has drawn 1,000 times in his mind. Before him is the faint silhouette of Haizao. The rain of the Heartlands is unfamiliar to one used to the sands on the frontier. The clouds hang low, suffocatingly so. It's one of the longest ones. It is, but they also bring back every character. Like, they don't just have one-off characters. Everyone since... I guess the only two people have really never come back are Mr. Nothing and Saga. But pretty much since Shongshu, since Imitation of Wine, every character keeps coming back. Yao Ye hasn't come back, but she did make a repeat appearance later on, but she has not made one since then. Unfortunately. But, yeah, pretty much everyone comes back. Even Boatman came back for a brief second. The general's thoughts drift away. You're the new commander of Yumen, I take it. You can call me Shuo. My responsibility is to assist you in military matters as well as kung fu instructions for the soldiers. I can take you around the base, if you'd like. You don't remember me. I saw your name in the Imperial Court announcements. What do you mean by remember? Never mind. I don't need a guide. I've served in Yemen before. I see. Forgive my impudence. It seems we are old comrades. The memories tend to fade after all these years on the border. Forgive me if I've caused any offense. Memories fade, I see. Interesting. Get yourself warmed up. I want to spar. You've had a long journey. You should rest. I'd be happy to spar with you another day. I don't need rest. I want to get some exercise before dinner. You should go no further, General. The supply lines and the troops' morales have been stretched to the limit. We cannot afford to be reckless when fighting demons. To push forward would be very risky. We're so close. It's already a remarkable victory, General. The demons of the north feed on the fear in men's hearts. This is the first time I've seen a general press on without fear, even with the entire army's fate upon your shoulders. There is nothing to fear. These things have harmed our people, ruined cities and farms. I only wish we could have wiped them out in this battle. Give me 20 years, I swear I will see all demons wiped out. I have no doubt you will, sir. I doubt anything under heaven could daunt you. What about you? You seem indomitable, invincible. Have you ever been afraid? Transfer. My appointment to Yemen was for 100 years. It's time to leave. And the Sway regulator didn't tell me anything about the personnel change. They are getting more and more out of line. But why are you leaving now? Trouble is stirring in the northwest. We need you more than ever. Perhaps our time together has made you forget. I've never held any official position in Yemen. Where are you going? Danyan? Michu? I think I'll be stepping away fully from my responsibilities. Why? Communication from the candleholders watching the Tomb of Sway have become increasingly frequent. Its awakening approaches. It would not be appropriate for me to shoulder important responsibilities at this time. But Yuman is strong and well equipped. It will perform its duty well, whether protecting Great Yin's northwestern border or any other purpose. Where are you going after you leave? The Qianghu world is big. There are plenty of places to go. Report. How have scouts returned? Not yet, sir. We have received no instructions from Pai Cao in the past 3 days. The Sui regulator should be communicating with Yuman, regardless of what is happening in the Tomb of Sway. Send out messengers. Sir, they're forcing their way in. What is the meaning of this? General So, it is most irregular to invade my tent like this, even for the military supervisory censor. On whose orders are you operating? The General Commandant has sent me to question you on the unnecessary delay. Ridiculous. Yuman has been on full alert since I received the order to mobilize. There has been no delay. Have you forgotten that Yuman received orders to arrive at Pai Cao by the last day of July at the beginning of the year, but arrived 3 days late? What is this, if not a delay? Yuman was struck by a catastrophe at the beginning of the year, and the repairs took 2 months. The Imperial Court must have known. Silence. I take responsibility for Yuman's delay. Did you come to strip me of command, then? You know the Grand Commandant thinks highly of you. But it seems now that you do not trust the Grand Commandant. Such words are inappropriate for a solemn place like this. Kindly instruct Yuman to travel 20 li in the direction of the Tomb of Sway. Yuman is already as close as it is allowed to be under standby. Why should we approach any closer? The situation at Tomb is yet unclear. Are you saying that Yuman should attack? Your duty is to obey. There is no need to question. What is His Imperial Majesty's will? Are you questioning your orders, General Tso? I cannot abide such questionable orders. If you will not accept your orders, then I must ask you to leave this tent. How dare you? Stop. My presence here represents the will of the Grand Commandant. All you need to do is obey, even if His Imperial Majesty questions. He can find no fault in your actions. The bestial sway is awakening. War is inevitable. Do you still intend to defy orders and paralyze Yuman with inaction? We are at a crisis. The lives of millions hinge on your decision, including your wife and son, who are still in Pai Cao City. How dare you? Not us, you, General. According to the estimates of the Ministry of War, Pai Cao will be doomed as long as you continue to defy orders, and Yuman remains unmoving. There is no time. We will wait here until you come to a decision. Did the Grand Commandant recover? Because at the start of this, he was sick in bed. But he sure is doing a lot of stuff. Or I guess maybe it's all things he's already planned before he got sick. Does it look familiar? Talking about reoccurring characters. That's the judiciary woman.
whose name was also Chin, I'm pretty sure, but not the same Chin. It has changed, but it is still recognizable as the court that judges all matters under heaven. Yeah, Chin without a apostrophe. I don't know what the apostrophe means either. They're the only people with the apostrophe in their name, too. Why have you come back at this time, when you have not done so for so many years? I have an appointment I cannot miss. But you took the time to come to the Judicial Review Office. Did you want to see if your successors have disappointed you? My views are insignificant. The Judicial Review Office should only think about not disappointing the people of Yen. One of the deputy ministers resigned recently. It's a shame. You would have liked her. I hope she didn't resign because she was disappointed. Well, maybe a little bit. Hard to say. Do you still play the Kuchin? Never forget the 5 sounds, for that they ensure proper virtue. I have also been trying out new instruments recently. I see. More pleasant than studying the laws of Yen, I expect. It is an interesting discipline. I read the basic principles of the laws of Yen that she left behind many times, but I could never understand the last third. I spent so much time studying it, I almost failed my Ministry of Justice entrance exam. Maybe I should have become a candle holder. It took many years for me to understand. The justice that you wrote about lay beyond the mortal realm. Just as one cannot draw what one has never seen, one cannot write about conscience that does not exist in their hearts. If justice is nowhere to be seen in the mortal realm, then one must consider, has someone blinded our eyes? You still bear a grudge for what happened back then. Should I not? What about the people who died in the turmoil? The innocent souls who were dragged into the game? Should they bear a grudge against him? Yes, they should. Fair. Then how do you seek a fair judgment for it? You forget. Not one law of Yen was written for the sole purpose of resolving hatred. It is someone else who should be judged. Looks like you're not worried about what will happen to your brother in the Tomb of Sway. You're more worried about the judgment he'll receive. Justice has never been concerned with life and death. He and I seek different things. You're right. But at that time like this, I can't help but feel. Law and regulations were written by humans, but the supreme law in your heart that transcends the strife of the mortal realm may never be found there. But just this once, if the time comes that we put the sinner on trial, I will put you in the judge's chair. You're correct. And it's been a long time since I judged anyone. I take my leave. There's no rush, is there? Join me for a cup of mortal tea before you leave. Is that like Immortal Delight? Oh. It takes mortal hands to make and serve the best. Mortal tea, after all. One day before the full moon. The hour of you. The Sky Mirror Pavilion is bigger than I thought. That's the sealed room on the top floor, right? Have they just been, like, sleeping in here? Like, it's been... Wasn't it, like, 3 days before? 2 days, maybe? How about someone knocks on the door and figures out how to open it? There's no one here. I think we're the first. There's one thing I don't quite understand, Sola. If the Grand Commandant is after the Proxy's relic, I take it that he knows how to use it to neutralize the bestial sway. He is one of the 3 Grand Ministers. If he made plans to obtain it, then he has certainly made plans to use it. I even find myself wondering, if someone takes the opportunity to erase another Proxy's name with the writing knife, like, well, Wang is fighting Sway. But what does all this have to do with Wei Yanwu? The Grand Commandant wouldn't have needed the writing knife if he was that powerful. He could have gone into the tomb of Sway and killed Sway with his own bare hands. What ideas do you have, then? I didn't really care about you and your official stuff, but I have a pretty good idea of what's going on after listening to you guys talk. Basically, the Crown Prince, who went missing 40 years ago after being suspected of staging a coup, is back, am I right? Do not speak of it so casually. I'm not wasting my time arguing with you. Basically, there's another direct descendant of the True Lung here in Pai Cao. That explains everything. What are you getting at? Have you never heard of the special oranginium under Pai Cao used to suppress Sway? She knows about that? She knows a lot of stuff. Miss Chen here is from Lungmen, so it's understandable if she doesn't know. But you two should, unless it's above your rank. Do you mean the Earth's blessing have granted this stone to its people, and the Heaven's blessing shall bring an end to Sway? A legend associated with the Great Hunt. I thought it was a myth, but maybe some kind of allegory. All I know is that the Tomb of Sway was built around a special facility. Alright, I guess you don't know. Why do you know? I guess the Sway regulator left no record of who gave Yen this oranginium either. It was our Grand Master, Chu's first friend, and the first Shanhuai Zhang. Chong, even. For some reason, that one specifically, I'm saying Zhang now. I guess I'm just too used to it. To be precise, it was a personal gift from the True Lung, meaning the Shanhai Chong gave one of the first oranginium shards to the True Lung. Interesting. How did they get it? Where did they find it? What happened? It looks like the evacuation of the civilians is complete, and the plates are being separated. Time is short. We should retrieve... So you really made it here? Who's... A figure approaches them from the other side of the corridor. You! But how could it be? Who is it? There's only so many people. There's a lot of people. Who could it be? Could be Wei. Perhaps it could be the Grand Commandant, perhaps, if he's not sick anymore.
All districts have been evacuated, Your Imperial Majesty, and all the ministries are ready. They await your command.
Tomorrow is the day of the full moon.
Yes.
Very well. Separate the plates. Wow. Earth and heaven rumble in the setting golden sun. The plates of Pai Zhao begin to separate, starting from the outer areas, casting numerous shadows in the vast wilderness. There are the legs that carry the city, and the foundations of its existence. Shan Shui, Sheng Jie, Yan Huao, Shenge, Duan Feng, Bai Gu, Cai Fu, Bingge. Oh, there's plates on top of plates too. The 8 districts have been seen 100 springs and autumns together. They have long been standing united, overcoming hardships. Now that they are separated, the future is uncertain. The music just went crazy. I was wondering when you would come. Your Imperial Majesty. Well, it's not the Grand Commandant. It is time.
So I put the cuffs on you, and now you say you got duped? What, did you forget you had a brain at the time?
Back to Wang, severed yearning. 1,000 ploys exhausted, the body a cage, parting from the stones, from the self wedged in the gaps and the ones held in the mind. Between every gap, a severed slice of memory. Year 982. 20 years is a long time. Yin has moved an entire city onto a nomadic platform. Other nomadic cities like it are popping up across the land. The Sky Mirror Pavilion has been expanded several times in order to accommodate the books collected from far and wide, transforming it beyond recognition. 20 years is a short time. Our family rarely saw one another. Shuo and Ling remain on the border. Chuan is planning to move to Danyun. After compiling the laws of Yin, Shu is living in Da Huang. Qi and Yi travel far and wide, each for their own reasons, while Nian is as carefree as ever. Rumor has it that Fong has left Yin's territory. Oh, really? Dusk refuses to come out of her scroll. Meanwhile, business at Yu's restaurant is booming as it has been for decades. As for Wang, he shuts himself in an ancient temple and has remained there for 20 years to improve his weiqi skills. When will he be willing to see me again? Jay, the Imperial Historical Cabinet wants to update on the reviews of Jiangxi's local chronicles. Oops, you caught me slacking off. It's alright. I've already taken a look at it and circled all the issues. Do you want to take another look? When did it... You really should get some rest. It's been getting to you. I've been watching you work long hours and sleep less year after year.
All the local annals and the construction chronicles, the veritable records of the previous Chulong, ancient history textbooks for the academy. I feel overworked, and all I do is organize the books for you. I've heard that the Ministry of Works requests have been dropping, and Shu's workload at Da Huang is no longer as heavy. But the burden on your shoulders doesn't ever seem to get lighter. Che? Huh? Sorry, I got distracted. You're right. I guess I'm tired. I should set this work aside for now. Good. How about we go out for a walk in town? No, not today. I don't think I'm in the mood. But if you see anything interesting in town, bring some back for me.
Candle holder Chun.
Yes, that's me. What's the matter?
I have an urgent letter for you.
For me? From who?
Someone had sent a letter to the Sway regulator. The supervisor was shocked by its contents and forwarded it to His Majesty, as well as every candle holder who deals with the proxies directly.
What's in this?
I do not know. The supervisor's instructions to you are to be ready, but refrain from acting without permission.
What's this?
Year birth. Year fought Shuo, resulting in great property damage to the people. Year framed a Mandarin for a crime he did not commit in order to cover up for one of his own kind. Year met with other proxies in secret without the Sway regulator's knowledge. The Sway regulator suffered a fire several months later, the cause of which is unknown. That one's crazy, but okay. Claimed to kill the bestial Chu, but had in fact allowed it to leave the domain of Yin.
Framing an official, meeting in secret, arson, sheltering a Farenmut. This is about Wang. Did Wang really do this? But there's no record in the Sui regulator's archives. You're still here?
I have another message for you, Candleholder Twin. Eliminate the great evil before dealing with the culprit. The frightened candleholder hurries back to the Sky Mirror Pavilion and passes by some officials leaving the building. Did you hear about Che? Yeah, she's been throwing her weight around doing whatever she wants with the history books, and there's no one in the Sky Mirror Pavilion or the Imperial Historical Cabinet who can stop her. It's basically it's becoming a real problem. Her candle holder has been negligent in her duty. She should be responsible if the history of Yin falls into chaos. The candle holder turns around and sees the two figures leaving quickly. Still unsettled, she picks up a scroll left on the shelf by the Sway regulator. Year blank. Birth. The candle holder knows that something is not right, but she could not stop her eyes from following the words. Year blank. Domination of the Sky Mirror Pavilion and the Imperial Historical Cabinet. Her intentions are pure, but no one else is able to check her power. Year bleh. The True Lung attempts to eliminate Sway to neutralize Chia threat. The tomb of Sway was empty when it was open. Year bleh. Imperial Historical Cabinet abolished. Takes control of the writing language of Yen. No one may oppose her. Year bleh. Reviews the livelihood of every household in the land. Anyone who has committed fraudulent acts as their name erased and is exiled to the borders, thousands die.
That's not real. None of this is true. She's not like that.
Several visitors gaze curiously at the woman in candle holder's garb. Chuan wipes the cold sweat off her brow and sees an ordinary book of poems in her hand.
I must be possessed, yes. That's it, she's not like that.
Are you sure she'll never become like that?
Of course. The frightened candle holder can no longer tell who is talking to her.
She will change as her powers continue to grow. She will become it.
It.
She does not want to become it. She is seeking your help. She does not want to become that. Yen is seeking your help. This ending is unacceptable to Yen. She cannot help but to become more powerful, more terrible than the Sui beast itself. You must help her. Only you can help her.
I can't.
You will make the choice that is best for everyone.
Best for everyone. Wait, who's talking to me?
She sees no one, only the echo of the words ringing in her ears. Your Imperial Majesty. The young official walks into the magnificent hall. It is her first time here. The Supreme Sovereign is not sitting on the throne, but standing by the window and gazing at the drizzle outside. You are aware that the Grand Preceptor passed away yesterday. He was your teacher and mine. He recommended you before he died and said you were his proudest student. That you can be trusted with heavy responsibility. There were certain things that I did not have time to ask him, and so I have to ask you. I am listening, Your Majesty. 20 years ago, the Grand Preceptor opposed my decision to build a nomadic city. He said it was an oppressive policy and that my priority should be to conserve and give people relief. 20 years have passed since. Some say that Yen's borders are secure and its coffers rich, a golden age not seen in 1,000 years. Some say that that great Yen is exhausted and its people discontent. Do you think I was wrong? I am but one person, and it is not my place to judge your Imperial Majesty. If I were a wealthy merchant enjoying a luxurious life in a nomadic city, and I said that you were a great and wise leader, would you consider such compliment honest counsel? If I was a common peasant whose family died in the construction projects, and I called you a foolish tyrant with no merit whatsoever, would such criticism be fair and just? I ask your Majesty in turn. Is it the opinion of future generations that you are concerned about, or is it something else? You have a way with words. Very well, I will not ask you to judge. Instead, give me a word of advice in your teacher's place. He once said something that has stayed with me my entire life. In worldly turmoil we tread, in our own conscience we trust. Even an ordinary peasant has a hard time finding a fair and impartial judgment in the complex affairs of a lifetime, let alone your Majesty. There is no measure by which your deeds can be judged. In your heart, however, I am sure that your conscience holds the true measure. In our own conscience we trust. What if my conscience tells me that I have never been wrong? Then you would not have summoned me today. I would simply remind you that the people of Yen can see you, even if they do not know you. But it will take more effort if you wish, from within the Forbidden City, to see the people clearly, and thus see the good and ill of your actions. I will remember that. I will remember that. I will remember it for the 20 years to come, if I have them. The Grand Preceptor's assessment of his own student is well justified. Report to the Ministry of Rights tomorrow. Your Imperial Majesty honors me. The tired Chulong walks back to the throne. There's a letter of indictment on his desk. It was sent by the Sui regulator. In a worldly turmoil we tread, in our own conscience we trust. A life measured in years, yet the stress feels ancient. Let future generations judge my deeds as they will. But the bane of Yen must not be left to the future. Come. Yes, Your Imperial Majesty. Ready the troops. We shall open the Tomb of Sway. Another long, tiring day. The proxy returns to the familiar temple and casts his gaze at the weight shipboard in a corner, as is his habit. One glance is all it takes to notice that something is not right. Someone has been here. The weight shipboard is empty except for a single object in the middle, although it is dark in the room and he cannot see what it is. As he approaches, he sees that placed at the center is a ripe yet white ginkgo seed. I guess the G, yeah, okay. That ginkgo sapling was planted in the spring of this year. The Ministry of Works swore an oath that in this hall several days ago that rebuilding of Paitsao as a nomadic city will be complete before the tree bears fruit. 20 years, that is the time you have. Immortality has made you arrogant. Perhaps you have forgotten that mortals do not have many 20 years. Yin cannot wait, and neither can I. You need not press. I have long intended the same. If you truly found a path, tell me, and I will come with you. Our chances would be better that way. Just tell me what the chances are. You can use me however you want. I would be happy to give my life. But do you really know what you're doing? This game should have been doomed. How can the part defeat the whole? How can one kill oneself and survive? But he saw the only way out for all of them. He will supplant it. Perhaps there'll come a day when our strength exceeds it. Then we can truly break free of its influence and live as ourselves. As long as we don't forget who we are, of course. The strategist is ready. He has no equal in the land when it comes to Weicha and scheming. This is the self that anchors him, and the strength that he has built for 1,000 years. All he faces are the broken remains of a slumbering mind. He must not lose this game. It's been a long time. The arrogant, the unmovable, I... Returning to the dark tomb for the first time in 1,000 years brings back countless emotions. Anger, frustration, shame. As he steps inside, he feels himself chilled to the bone. No. This is impossible. How? How could you have already awakened?
The arrow has been knocked. Do not hesitate.
Suppression by force isn't an option on this field.
Ribbon in the waves cannot be teleported.
You can transform into a glyph and travel through glyph tiles when stamped, become stunned, temporarily unable to transform. Interesting.
You have been drawn into my plans. Admit defeat now, and spare yourself the embarrassment.
They're strong too.
You will not escape this jeer so easily.
You'll get what you deserve. I mean, what you
Air's burning my lungs. The temp's just right.
Warmongering as ever.
Branch and bone bear weeds, mounds and ruins bloom fields.
You know, lately, it's my boiling blood turning the horizon red.
Admit defeat now, and spare yourself the embarrassment. Admit defeat now, and spare yourself the embarrassment.
Get rid of those two from the field at the very least while we can.
Why must you insist on struggling? Warmongering as ever. Even now, you have learned nothing.
My blood is here. Run faster before my
tough to swallow, huh? Try to behave yourself next time.
Mission accomplished.
Year 982. Damn, it's just a sword. How could this be screwed up? Getting rusty? The smith scratches her head in confusion and takes out another steel ingot from the storage. Autumn is wet this year. It's suffocating. Something doesn't feel right. Impossible. This is impossible. Is it awakening? Worried screech. An angry cloud has appeared on the calm scroll. Crack of thunder leaves an ink trail in the white scroll.
looking decidedly out of place. Countless terrible ink spirits appear out of nowhere, scattering across the scroll, covering everything out in a black ink. I didn't paint this. Go away.
You've had a long journey, Mr. Schwo. I'll take you to a quiet place where you can rest.
I should not delay in reporting to the Ministry of War.
There has been an incident in Pai Tsao. His Majesty commands that you are not to enter for the time being.
Why? Is that the Tomb of Sway? Wang, what have you done? Did the heart skip a beat, or did it beat twice in an instant? Or was it the vibration of the Matic City from some sudden movement? Or was it... plop? The scroll that was in the proxy's hand is now on the ground. Wang. Chia. What is it? Look at this. A letter of indictment. For Wang. Who gave this to you? Someone sent it to the Sui regulator. The supervisor had to report to His Majesty. There are rumors that the Imperial Guard is coming to the Skymere Pavilion.
Finally, you're here.
Why are you awake? No. Your aura is almost identical to its own, but you've appeared in that hollow visage.
The hollow visage that is also yours.
In that case, you're not awake. You're still in the dream.
Of course I'm awake. You had awakened me centuries ago when you intruded upon my dream.
You're bluffing. I would not be standing here if you were truly awake. You flexed in your dream and thought you had awoken. You, a mere dreamwalker. Not yet awake. Dare call yourself awake?
Dreamwalker? Very well. We'll call this a journey in a dream. But I see those games you and your siblings play with those puny humans, and your foolish, flawed, presumptuous plan to replace me. You want to become the same as the humans, to become such fickle, puny creatures in order to escape your fate? How pathetic. How laughable.
You forget that these puny creatures defeated you and imprisoned you for 1,000 years. Does it matter if you're awake? You're a shadow, a reflection, a phantom questioning its own shade. A reflection in fleeting water. Killing you will not be difficult.
Is that so? The proxy turns around to look at the corridor he just walked through, but finds no path. Why are you afraid then? It took so long for you to get a chance to see me like this. If you are not afraid, why have you not torn me to pieces in your hatred? Pathetic. Foolish.
Watch your tongue.
Didn't you want to fight me to the death? Then come and do what you do best.
A witch aboard appears in front of Wang, with a familiar crack on it. Without asking, the mysterious foe takes the white stone and goes first, according to tradition. The first stone is placed in a Tianyuan position, the center of the board. First move. Tianyuan. Are you mocking me? You'll find out when the game has ended. Your turn. He takes a black piece. The 19 by 19 board is intimately familiar to him. He has not tasted defeat in a long, long time. Yet it seems as though his opponent sees through his every move, every thought, every emotion. He soon finds himself at a disadvantage, even though his opponent has forfeited the opening move. Impossible. Why would it be? Have you not realized that all the intricate moves that you have pondered, all your puny stratagems, are no secrets to me? Because I am you. Giving up already? No, no, that won't do. You must finish the game. So be it. He clenches his teeth and picks up another stone. Every move causes a splintering headache. Every move drains his spirit. The game is finally concluded after another 100 moves or so. With all in-game play settled, Black wins by the slimmest of margins, half a point, as the points are tallied. The player is exhausted at his last gasp. Yeah. You lose. Arrogant as ever. Leaving aside whether this child's play even counts, do you think this is the only game between us? Yeah. The name of this game is Wong. You may have won this round, but have you any idea how insignificant it is in the big picture? Step back. Go there and look back and see if there is any meaning in these moves that took every last drop of your being. Against his will, Wong gets up and takes a few steps back. It is only a few steps, but the board that he has been seeing has shrunk to a tiny piece. No matter how you flail and struggle, it is no more than 1/12 of the game. All the twists and turns of your black pieces have not determined the outcome of a single corner. Why do you think you can make me concede? They playing 4D Weiqie? Wong forces himself to look. It is no longer a 19 by 19 board, but hundreds of lines vertical and across. The game that he had poured his heart and soul into just to win by a hair looks utterly insignificant on the vast board. Countless white pieces, as many as there are stars in the sky, lie beyond the board, which itself seems endless. There is no room to intervene in their formation. As immutable as Sway's anger and contempt, each have simmered for 1,000 years. You planned this. Of course I planned this. This plan began to take form in my countless dreams, ever since you glimpsed into my mind centuries ago. A white would begin to lay the pieces around you, quietly and unbeknownst to you. What you have done, he made note of. What you did not finish, he finished for you. What you did not do, he did in your image. He made you wary of the humans, and the humans wary of you, forcing you and your kind to return here, this source of your immortality for centuries. Why do you care that we live? As long as I live, you will always have a choice. The last thing that the Yin wants to see, to return to my consciousness and destroy everything that was built upon the Great Hunt. As long as you live, I will never regain my full strength. Strength that will allow me to break my shackles. Our lives are too intertwined for peace to be a possibility. Yet you would seek peace with the humans? Yin would not abide me, who almost became their god. Why would they abide you when you replace me? You are not worthy to play at this board. I will take your life. Then the lives of your siblings vanish now as your inevitable fate. The true lung let Wong go to the sibling of the true lung let Wong go to the tomb of Sui alone. He would not have given Wong the opportunity to tell me. He never wanted to hurt anyone. Words were never his strong suit. He was obsessed with victory and defeat, but cared nothing for loss and gain. The shrewdest and most foolish among us. He saw through every scheme and treachery, but he could not do something as simple as letting those around him truly know him. Besides, am I not the proxy that the Sui regulator and you have always feared the most? I knew, or rather, I knew they would tell you. I can feel it even if you don't say anything. I thought I could control this power in time. Lately, though, I'm feeling less and less like myself. My memories began to grow indistinct many years ago. In recent years, the same has happened to my emotions. Perhaps there's something I want to ask you, Chun, impolite as it may be. What did you feel when your mother died? Underneath her thick black hair, the elf's ears twitch. Why do you ask? Because there's still hope for Wong. You're going to save him. As it stands, with my strength and his, I can do no more than die in his place. What is the death of a family member like for beings like you and me? Why do you ask? Why do you have to open my wounds? Suddenly Chuan understands. Chia is asking for herself and for Wong. If losing a loved one is merely a little speck of sorrow in a long life, then she will choose death and leave the insignificant sorrow to Wong, and become a loss that stings a little from time to time to her siblings. If the pain of losing a loved one is still threatens to tear one apart, even for those with lifespans far beyond the ordinary mortal, then she will choose to bear the unbearable pain and the burden of those left behind, seeing the task of eliminating Sui through to the end. An immortal being facing the possibility of losing family forever for the first time. Though she has written about meetings and partings innumerable times, finding no other means to judge by, she can only rely on Chun to make a decision. She only has to tell the truth, that the pain of losing a loved one does not heal so easily even after decades, after centuries. That death is a liberation and life is pain. Which way the scale tips is obvious. That it was best for Wong to let him go. That Che should remain and feel the pain that lingers. Wong reaps the death that he sowed while Che remains. It is how things should be. That Che would cautiously advance the cause of eliminating Sui, without crossing the line as Wong did, incurring the wrath of the True Lung when the Sui regulator received an anonymous tip. But eliminate the great evil before dealing with the culprit. There is no one in the Sky Mirror Pavilion or the Imperial House Historical Cabinet who can stop her. It's becoming a real problem. She should be held responsible if the history of Yen falls into chaos. Imperial Historical Cabinet abolished. Takes control of the written language of Yen. No one may oppose her. Reviews the livelihood of every household in the land. Anyone who has committed fraudulent acts has their name erased and exiled to the borders. Thousands die.
Chaotic, murky memories grip the candleholder's heart. It is not right. She seems to remember that none of the speakers had faces. Something is not right. It is false, fabricated, designed to drive a rift between candleholder and proxy, turn them against each other. But is it not a fact that Chie's power is growing? She'll become more powerful, more terrible than the Sui beast itself. She cannot help it. I must help her. I must do my duty to Great Yin. Two entwined wills surge in her chest. One belongs to her, the other to those faceless people, but also to a Yin that does not want to give a proxy complete control over history. She cannot help but suspect that her recruitment by the Sui regulator was not luck but planned. She was assigned to watch the most difficult proxy to control because of her long lifespan. She would understand the monster that Chia would become because of her interest in history. She would lose her hard-earned home if she betrayed Great Yin because she has nowhere to go. Is that why she feels the crushing weight of her burden? A rumbling sound fills her mind, and she cannot think. She must do her duty to Yin, do her duty as candleholder. By chance, she has seen Chia at her most fragile. She must let the great evil take the culprit's place. It would be best for the proxies even. Yin would lose a reason to wage war on them. My mother, when she passed, I felt very little. The pain torn you apart. I felt as though the death of my mother left a hole in my heart, made me find something new to fill it. It was as though your heart was ripped out from your chest, leaving behind a bloody hole, and you know that nothing would ever fill it, that things would never be the same again. I cried when I buried her, but that was it. I stopped crying very soon. You had cried your tears dry by the time the last dirt was laid over your mother's face, but you could not stop crying. You had no idea what to do. Our journey is a long one. We'll find new things and meet new people that will soothe the temporary pain. Your life is too long, and lasting things too few. When you lose them, they leave behind voids that can never be filled, wounds that can never heal. I hardly even think of my mother anymore because I have you. I have other friends. Your loved ones appear in your dreams. They come to you when you are alone. The pain grips your heart when you hear songs like the melodies that she once hummed. There is nowhere to run. When I'm with you, I'm happy. She barely managed to utter those last few words. So great was her urge to throw up, she could hardly breathe. She dares not look into the proxy's eyes. She fears that the one before her would be blinded by her words and truly believe that loss is something that can be soothed by time. She fears that the one before her would see through her lies, see her vile intention and despise her. She fears herself for saying those words. I see, thank you. You're a good candle holder. The murk in the candleholder's chest suddenly clears. There's only an empty hole there now. Wind blows through the hole and speaks in her voice. It was a cruel question, but I asked because my heart was in turmoil. One second thought, I would likely have made the same decision whether I asked the question or not. I regretted it as soon as I asked. You're smart. You would have realized that I was forcing my candleholder to choose my death or Wang's. I shouldn't have made you do this. You didn't say anything about yourself. You chose to communicate Great Yin's will to me, that's all. Death is an adventure that is unique to everyone. There's no previous experience to draw from. We must each walk our own path. The local annals that need to be edited are on my desk. Take them to the Sui regulator when you have time. Chie. Twin fights back her tears. Even crying would be a lie here and now. But the hole in her chest continues to sob, a sound that she can only hear. Finally, she forces a few sorrowful, powerless words from her chest. I'll be going. You. Take care. Dang. Dang, dang, dang. What is going on, Chia? The Imperial Guard is coming to the Skymere Pavilion, and I almost got shut inside my own home by my candle holder. Did something happen to Wong? You can hear it, can't you? Its heartbeat. He went into the Tomb of Sway. When? 2 hours ago. We can talk about the rule breaking later. The court clearly wants to exclude us, and time is short. What's your plan? I'm going to help Wong. I'll go with you. No. Why? He and I will take care of this. Are you sure? I'm sure. He and I have been making plans to eliminate Sway. There's no time to explain the plan right now. Your presence will not help, it will only increase the risk. Besides, there's something I must ask you to do. Take this writing knife. Your power should be able to preserve it. What are you planning? How bad have things gotten? It will not awaken, not yet. I can promise you this. And so can Wong. But you... Someone will come back. Either you or him. I'm coming with you. No, Chun. I truly mean no offense. I need to entrust this writing knife to the keeping of someone who is absolutely just and impartial. If someone with ill intent gets their hands on it, it'll do far more danger or damage than the death of a single proxy. I thought about destroying it. In the end, I felt that it was worth preserving. The wrongs of the past should be righted, though I do not know at what price. Perhaps the writing knife will be able to help you, or Tiyen, until the day comes when no one can use it anymore. Don't be like this, Chun. Maybe I'll come back with Wong. Then we'll go together to eat at Yi's and listen to you sing. And if I never return, there's a long road ahead of you.
It is not so easy to not look back. She looked at the innumerable lives and death recorded upon the shelves, many of which she had written with her own pen. Would she become one of them? How would those who come after depict this life, one that seems too long for others to comprehend, yet far too hurried for herself? How would the other siblings react when they read those pages? No, there will be no record of her. She knows it. Of all the siblings, she is the one who has spent the most time with Wong. She has given Wong ideas of it for his plans, helped him calculate the conditions and timings of the Sways of elimination. She can guess what is happening in the Tomb of Sway. The clear and distinct heartbeat has already told the full story. There is no other way. She must use her powers to erase the name. She has spent much more time in the mortal realm than ordinary people. Everyone dies. It is precisely the cycle of life and death that made possible the innumerable ways of life that have fascinated her, as well as her siblings. But if death is such an unremarkable thing, like a wisp of smoke in the wind, what is living, truly? Light from the setting sun pours into the room, upon the countless history tombs, as though relentlessly pouring through traces of the past. Every word in these scrolls was written with tears of blood, but the only thing written on the last page is the word regret. The sun rays by the window, how warm. but she does not walk towards the sunlight. She leaves the room, into the darkness of the tomb. No words need to be said. Wong knows it is a fragment it has retrieved from his own memory, an image that he has never forgotten for even a moment in the last 120 years. He lies exhausted on the ground. 100 white pieces on the board have turned into blades that impale his chest, and he is slowly inundated with the pure white, until the gold light surrounds him. I'm sorry. Wait for me. Wait for me to come back. For you to come back. It was the other side of the dream, a place that he should not have been able to touch. But she seems to notice him and turns around to look at him. There is a faint smile on Chie's face, and she nods lightly. The light gushes from behind her, surrounding the figure, swallowing it, dissolving it, sweeping away the dream realm and revealing the true face of this place.
A unit never takes the same formation as water.
That was a really good
the same
scene.
Shape. Such extraordinary planning and execution. Doctor, I cannot fathom your past.
I'll have to finish it tomorrow. Already planned as such.
It is my pleasure to finally meet you. I am Dieu, a craftsman. We have met before? Perhaps you have met with my creations. Or perhaps it is simply two lovers of truth recognizing one another.
I like his voice. Not what I expected. I like it though. So what is this guy? A besieger. When dealing lethal damage, it leaves the enemy at 1 HP and inflicts critically wounded. What? What year is it? Critically wounded. Gives 2 SP to the attacker when killed. Chu does not attack critically wounded targets. Gosh. I forgot about that mechanic, honestly. I think they did too. Attacks the next attack deals 250 damage as physical. Will not attack enemies above 50%. Attack plus 100%. Attacks additional target. Enemies below 50% HP within attack range receives an additional attack for 100% attack as physical damage. Each enemy can receive at most 1 additional instance. Interesting. Okay. But he won't attack them himself. So he does a lot of damage to people below 50% HP to, I guess, leave them critically wounded and then give the SP to other people. And he has, in his module, increases damage dealt to lower HP stuff as well. Fair enough. No one can best him at drawing circles.
Hiya! How about a little chat before you get to work?
All right. We'll finish this up tomorrow. Although it probably will be a long one because there's apparently 11 levels, which is crazy. Yeah, but other than that, thank you all for watching. And until we meet again, may the sands of time treat you well.